passion and home cooks, their recipes and their stories. I'm your host Emanuela, and today we're cooking with Gautam. Gautam has a true Canadian story. His father was from India, his mother is from Czech Republic, and he was born in Egypt. As the son of a diplomat, he traveled all over the world and picked up some amazing recipes on the way. Let's go cook. You as well. Thank you for having us. Thank you so much.
So what we're making today is a simple meal, if I may say so. We start with an appetizer. We go to a small main dish or an entree, and we'll end with a sweet dessert. So the appetizer is a mix of shrimp and eggplant. And that is an Asian and a Mediterranean sort of flavor. The main course is grilled mashed potatoes with a touch of Indian touch to it. And one of my favorites, which is chicken roasted with the brown sauce. And we'll end with drunken pear, which is pears that have been soaked overnight in red wine, cooked down to a thick consistency.
Welcome to Home Cooking. Today we're invited to Gautam's home for a wonderful meal. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you for being here.
You have an amazing story. You prepared a beautiful table for us with incredible ingredients. So today we're going to cook, we're going to laugh, we're going to share your story with our viewers, and I can't really wait to start and have a good time.
Okay.
But what are we making today?
Right, so we've got a simple meal actually today. We've got an appetizer. It's going to be eggplant, and we're going to slice the eggplant and coat it with maple syrup. We're going to top that with some butterfly shrimp.
Oh,
that's going to be
wonderful.
Seasoned with thyme, basil, and parsley, and cooked in butter.
This already sounds so flavorful.
So that's nice. Then we move to the main dish, which is some cantaloupe, which is going to be rubbed onto the chicken and put into the oven for roasting. And we're going to take the sweetness of the cantaloupe and cover it with the hotness of the chili.
Wow.
Now that's cooking. We're going to boil some of these potatoes, and then we're going to mash them, fry the onion, and top the potatoes with the fried onions.
Oh, wow.
And these two are your main dish. We're going to use the milk to help keep the whiteness of the potatoes. The dessert is here, which is really organic pears that are going to be sliced and kept overnight in red wine, and with some raisins, and then topped with a cinnamon coating. That's your meal for the day.
Wow, and it sounds like a very elegant, yet easy affair.
Yes, it is, actually.
So we're going to start on an appetizer. As soon as we come back, don't go anywhere. Home cooking is just getting started.
The following program is brought to you by Rogers Anyplace TV.
I was born in Egypt. I grew up in various different countries across the world. My dad is from India, and my mom is from Czechoslovakia. We had a variety of cuisines that got cooked because we had Czech food and we had Indian food, and because we lived in different countries across the world, we had cuisines of different countries. The other thing was that my dad was a diplomat, and so when we moved to different countries, we studied with other diplomatic children. So I had Korean friends, Indonesian friends, Polish friends, Russian friends, so people from different backgrounds, and you're constantly eating in each other's homes. And so one had a multitude of different kind of cuisine.
Welcome back to working on our starter.
Great.
And once again, what is our starter going to be?
Okay, our starter is going to be, we're going to start with the eggplant. We're going to slice the eggplant, and I'm going to request you to slice it for me.
Certainly.
And we're going to coat the eggplant with some nice, fresh maple syrup.
Wow, so we have a Canadian twist.
A Canadian twist
I love
to
it.
a Mediterranean style fried in butter.
Fantastic.
Then what we're going to do is, while you're doing that, what I will do is I'm going to butterfly these jumbo shrimp and garnish or marinate them in some herbs. There's rosemary, there's parsley, and there's thyme.
Wow, that
We're
sounds
going to
amazing.
marinate that. And then we're going to fry both of them separately and crown them together and eat it up.
Let's get chopping.
Okay.
So
Rock and roll.
exactly. So you want the eggplant how thick?
Maybe about a centimeter.
A centimeter?
So the
Sure.
ends can go away, and then you just have nice little rounds.
So is that good
That's
enough?
perfect.
Excellent.
And let me also at the same time start butterflying these.
Wonderful.
If you notice, you butterfly them, and then I use my big cleaver
Okay.
to just give it a side pat.
Wow. And is that going to help it
That
hold
helps.
its shape?
Open the juice, and it helps take in the spices when I put the garnish on.
That is amazing. Okay, Gautam, it's time to turn up the heat.
Here we go. All right, so we're going to start with the eggplant. The pan's just got nice and hot, so we're going to add a little bit of butter.
Okay. So the reason why we're adding butter is?
Normally I would fry it in olive oil for health reasons, but today we're splurging because you're here, so we're going to do it in butter, just for that flavor.
And I say the more butter, the better.
Absolutely.
And you know what? We can afford it. Just a little bit.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, once in a while. So we take the butter.
Excellent.
There you go. You see it's browning already because it's nice and hot.
Perfect. So that's what
So
we want.
it's just ready to take the eggplant.
Okay.
Right.
And I just love the recipe because it really involves some of my favorite things of all times, and that's eggplant and seafood.
Seafood. So here we go.
So, oh, nice and hot. That's what we want. Oh, and you should see that nutty taste of the maple syrup as soon as it just hits that heat.
Right.
Wow, absolutely fantastic.
So we just keep some space and put one more.
One more. I'll put
Yeah.
the small one in.
How is it?
You know what? Absolutely. You have to say seafood is anything is seafood. You can smell the thyme in there. So how often do you make seafood at home?
Oh, we make seafood at least once a week, if not twice a week. So our favorites are shrimp, and come another time and I'll make you our favorite crab curry. So
my.
we love the crab curry.
That sounds heavenly to me. Oh, that looks really, really
So
good.
while that's happening, I'm going to give these guys another flip.
And you know what absolutely amazes me is the combination that you came up with. Like we said earlier, maple syrup, your ingredient that you really didn't grow up with, and that's an eggplant and
That's right.
shrimp. Now, how common are the shrimp in India or in Indian
Very,
cuisine?
very common, because we have a lot of coastal areas in India, and so there's a lot of fish and shrimp and other seafood. So it's quite a staple diet for at least those people who live in the coastal area. And as I mentioned earlier, because my dad was Bengali, seafood is a very common everyday item for Bengalis. So now you can see how they're getting golden brown. So they're really quite done. One flip and we'll be ready to go.
Okay, oh God, so our shrimps are done, but I have to make a confession. not looking, I stole one and I tried one.
That's why I was counting. One was missing. Okay, so now I figured it out.
But it's so good. Oh, I can't wait just to
Alright.
get a portion for myself and just enjoy it. But before
Good.
that, of course, we need our main course.
Alright, so here we have it. We're going to have roasted chicken in the oven. And we're going to, oh, that's something I forgot to mention. Forgot to mention that we're going to make a brown sauce on the side. So that's going to go later on top of the roasted chicken.
That sounds
And
great.
that's going to be our main dish. And along with that, we're going to have some potatoes here. We're going to mash those potatoes. And we're going to have mashed potatoes with some roasted chicken.
Excellent. So where do we begin?
So let's get started with the chicken.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask for your help, but let me show you what we're going to do. So first thing is we're going to just cut some slits in them.
So what do we need those slits for?
And this is so that when we take the melon, we use this as a rubbing.
A melon?
So, yeah, so the sweetness of the melon will rub into the flavor of the chicken.
So what is it going to do to our chicken?
It's going to give it a sweet flavor, and it's going to contrast with our friend here, the Jolly Great Green Chili. So it's going to contrast a sweet and sour taste.
That truly is a very surprising combination. Sounds really good.
We keep trying different sort of fusion of foods.
Ask you a question. You know, I've always been really fascinated by Indian culture, and most of the time that's where you live most of your life. So you met your wife in India. What was your wedding like? Tell me about that. Tell me about the food on the wedding.
Oh boy. Well, the wedding was actually a convoy of friends and family, and we went up into the Himalayas to a relative's house who was a priest, and therefore he got a pastor and he got us married. And the backyard, we get these cooks on hire who sit from morning till evening in the backyard, big godros, and they're cooking, starting with breakfast to lunch, and they cook the entire day's meal. So we had, I think, all the meats you could talk about: chicken, goat meat, fish, eggs, and all lots of vegetables. And it ended up with, I think, about 5 different desserts. So that was our wedding feast, if you may call it.
Oh my goodness, this sounds amazing. Gautam, I can smell the chicken in the oven, and it's all of those wonderful flavors that we put in there.
Yeah.
Chilies and
Tomatoes
and onions, ginger. Oh, it just smells amazing. But now we need some side dishes.
Absolutely. And the one we're going to go for is first the mashed potatoes.
Okay.
So here we go. And I'm going to use a nice clean mashed, farm fresh washed potatoes. They just go into the water.
So all we're going to do, we're just going to boil them.
Boil them, and then we're going to mash them up with some milk. And the little touch of difference is we're going to fry some onions.
Oh, that sounds
And we're
really
going to
interesting.
use that as a garnish on top of the potatoes.
Sounds wonderful. But we're also making a sauce, almost like a gravy,
Yes.
for our chicken.
And for the chicken, we're going to have a gravy that I have the water on boil. And slowly we're going to add a few more ingredients to it, so that will add as a topping on the chicken when it's ready to eat.
Oh, that sounds decadent.
So let's close the potatoes.
Okay, so we're using a pressure
We're
cooker.
using a pressure cooker. Just helps speed up the process.
All right.
And here we put in the onions,
Okay.
browning.
Now, would you say that this is a bit of an Indian twist
Yes.
to our dish?
Yes, it is. It's that touch of Indianness.
And it makes you feel like home, doesn't it?
Yes, right?
So what are we looking for? Do we want our onions to
These are
soften?
we're going to make them a golden brown color.
Okay, so our onions look like they're getting a little bit of
Getting a
color
little
now.
bit of color. We're going to let this fry.
Okay,
And so onto the brown sauce.
sounds great. And I have to tell you, sauce is probably one of my favorite parts of any kind of dish because sauce just really gives it so much character. So what are we adding to ours?
So we put water on the boil with a touch of olive oil. We're adding the finely cut garlic. This was cut by Emanuela.
What do you think? Did I do a good job,
I think it was
Chef?
cut well. With a few extra pieces.
Okay.
And then we have, this is onion soup.
Okay.
It's a pre-mix, so we add that in here.
You know, as long as it makes your life easy, and this already has so much flavor, why
Yeah.
not?
And to add, you talked about flavor. This is the magic ingredient. It's stock, but it's chicken flavored stock, so it will add that little extra punch to the chicken.
So how many of those are
So
we
we
adding?
put 3 of these in.
These are enough.
Yeah, so that's right.
That's great. Wow, this is going to be really, really flavorful. And what about this sauce? How did you come up with this recipe?
This recipe, I came up with this recipe primarily through trial and error.
Gautam, the fragrances, the flavors, they're just captivating. But I believe that the only thing that we need to do is our dessert.
Yes, there's one more thing coming.
Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to work on Gautam's drunken pears.
It's a brand new season and a brand new...
My wife and I, we live together. We don't have any children. And we're yet to get ourselves a little puppy dog, which we are talking about. I would say both of us enjoy cooking. In Toronto, we have a bit of our family. My in-laws are here, and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law are here too, and they live close by. So we're constantly meeting each other, and there's constantly transfer of food that's happening between the homes. And my sister-in-law is from Germany, and she has a Polish background. So that's a new tilt to the cuisine that gets cooked in the house. A lot of cabbage and potatoes and bacon. And my mom-in-law is a very good and very sort of involved cook, so she likes cooking a lot of Indian dishes. And between the two families, we share a lot of food.
Welcome back to Home Cooking. We're in the kitchen with Gautam, and it's time for the sweetest part of our feast, and that's, of course, our
The
dessert.
drunken pears.
Drunken pears. That's
Okay.
it. Just got even more fun. Excellent. So how do we make our drunken pears? And why are they drunken?
Okay, so here we go. We take organic pears, and I like to get organic pears. And all we do is we split them in half and decode them.
Okay.
And then we soak them overnight in some red wine.
Oh, that's why they're drunken.
So that's how they get drunk. And what I do is I add some raisins, just for that little bit of crunchiness when we eat the dessert. And I've got sugar and cinnamon. The sugar is for people who like it sweeter, so they can add more sugar. And the cinnamon is just as a sprinkling on top before you eat it.
I like it sweet.
Great. So should we cut them?
Let's
Get
do
started?
this. Show me how it's done,
Here,
please.
so first you take out the head.
So I guess you just have to cut it into small pieces. There's no specific.
Well, I keep them as halves.
Okay.
So all you do is decode. Sometimes it,
Okay.
and that's it, and that goes out, and then this goes into the bowl.
Okay. And then how long do we soak them for?
So we soak them overnight, and then when we take them out, the pears are nice and soft, and the wine has all gone into the body. So we take the pears out of the wine, and we take the wine and we boil it down to a thick consistency.
Wow.
And then we pour that back onto the pears.
Interesting.
And you find all the white of the pears will become red. With the red
Because
wine.
of all of that wine.
Right. And now, by the magic of television,
You just took words out
there
of
you
my
go.
mouth. Because last night you worked hard to have me over. So last
Here we
night you
go.
prepared this?
So So this is done from last night, and the raisins are flowing inside. Now all I'll do is I'll take the pears out, keep them aside. In fact, probably could keep them in the fridge so they can become nice and cold. We'll take the wine and we boil it down to a thick consistency, and then on top of the cold pears, we pour the warm thick wine.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, and then top it with this, or if you like, you can even put whipped cream on top.
Oh God, this is so good. I think they would be just good like this.
Oh well, wait till you see how it tastes after the wine becomes thick.
And then it will become almost syrupy texture, right?
That's right.
You gotta wait and see how this happens. And if you want to make this at home, well, the recipes are coming up next, just for you. Gautam, everything looks so good. And we're joined by your wife.
Vinita.
And Vinita, you're beautiful. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
She's in her home and she's thanking us for having her.
Having me happy to be with you.
Thank you so much. I think that we should not wait any longer and just enjoy.
Okay, so let's party.
Let's party. You know, he has those drunken pears that are about to be. And I think he had some before they were reduced. Wait till you guys try this. And I cannot believe that your wife is so lucky to eat this kind of food anytime she desires.
Absolutely.
Gautam, thank you for your experience.
Thank you for being here.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for joining us for
Well,
this evening.
it was been my pleasure.
And it's been, the whole day just has been so much fun.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And this is what home cooking is all about, sharing love, sharing recipes, and simply having a good time together. We'll see you next time.
Right.